Hi everyone, and thank you so much for watching. Today I had a little extra time to play with my makeup before I go out, so I decided to film whatever the hell I come up with. So if you want to see how I created this subtle type of halo eye, please keep watching. I really want to give my primer the opportunity to sink into my skin, so I'm applying it first before going on with my eyes. I'm applying my Essence eyeshadow base all over my eyelids to make sure that area is neutralized before I apply any eyeshadow, and then I'm also applying some of it on the tip of my nose. This is because I have a spot on my nose that I really want to cover, and also this is where my makeup tends to come off during the day, so applying an eyeshadow base there really helps the makeup stick on your nose. Next, because my face powder was the closest powder to me, I'm just picking up a bit of that and applying it on my eyelids to set the eyeshadow base. The first color I'm using is this pale orangey color from my Carli Bybel palette, and I'm using it as a transition shade. So I'm picking up my fluffy blending brush and I'm blending this color into my crease. Next color I'm picking up is this light brown color from the same palette, and I'm using a fluffy yet flat brush to blend this color onto the outer thirds and the inner thirds of my eyelids. I'm going to start building the halo eye like this. So I'm going to shade the color in relatively far so that it's the base, and then to add some depth I'm using this darker brown color and I'm applying it further in the outer V and the inner corners of my eyes. I'm not dragging it in nearly as far so that these two colors can kind of create an ombre. And then whatever's left on my brush, I'm kind of just circling around in my crease to make everything connect well. For the middle part of my eye, I'm going to use this dark brown highlighter from my Carli Bybel palette, and I'm picking it up with my pinky and then swiping it on the middle of my eyelid and then blending it out as far as I can. This color is nice and shimmery, so I placed it in the middle, and then I'm quickly cleaning off my finger before picking up the shimmery eyeshadow. It's also brown, but it's a bit lighter, so I'm going to use it to help the brown I have in the middle blend with the brown colors on the sides. It just helps it transition a little better. And it looks a little unneat when you're doing it with your fingers, so I'm picking up the two brown colors again and just running it over the edges and making sure everything blends neatly. I quickly drew my eyeliner wings on off camera, and now I'm using this eyelash curler to curl my lashes before I go in with mascara. First I'm using this Essence All Eyes on Me mascara, and I'm making sure to get it all around on my lashes, on my upper and my lower lash line. And I focused it more on my upper lash line because I want those lashes to pop more, but they weren't popping enough for me with this mascara alone, so I also picked up this Essence Lash Princess mascara and applied a bit more of that. Moving on to brows, I'm going to comb out my brows first, and then I'm going to pick up a mixture of this dark brown and black eyeshadow, and I'm using a thin eyeliner brush to just draw them on. I'm following their natural shape and simply defining them to make them look a little more neat. Now for the rest of my face. I'm applying my LA Girl Pro liquid foundation in the color Porcelain all over my face. I'm dotting it on, and then I'm using my damp beauty blender to spread it out all over my skin. And I'm really careful around my brows so that I don't cover them with the foundation, and around the edge of my makeup so that I don't undo all the hard work I just did. Now for concealer, I'm using this LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer in the color Fair, and I'm drawing it on underneath my eyes, of course, to help brighten up the area, and then I'm also going to apply some in between my brows, on my nose and around my mouth. I'm also mixing in a bit of the color Natural to make it look a little better with my skin tone. Now I'm just going back in with my beauty blender and blending it out, again making sure not to mess up all the hard work I had just done on my eyeshadow. Now I only realized now that I didn't apply concealer on my nose, but it wasn't necessary because I already had the eyeshadow base on and the spot on my nose was already decently covered, so I didn't have to apply some concealer over it as well. Now I'm using my LA Girl Pro Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm going to be picking it up with my beauty blender to set right underneath my eyes to prevent creasing, and then whatever's left I'm dabbing on the areas I get oily during the day. I'm using this light brown color from my Carli Bybel palette, and I'm going to run it on my lower lash line. This is to just help round off my eyes and to make everything look nice and complete. And then I'm using this lighter shade, mixing it with the lightest shade, and I'm applying this on the inner half of my lower lash line to really help my eyes look bright and open. I'm using this silver eyeliner by Essence in the color C'est La Vie, and I'm going to color in my waterline with it. And then to help my wing collect to my lower lash line, I'm using this black eyeliner by Maybelline New York and just coloring in the outer corners. Back to mascara, I'm using this Essence All Eyes on Me one again and applying it on my lower lashes again because the concealer I'd applied started covering it up. I'm using this golden brown highlighter and I'm applying it in the inner corners of my eyes. I felt this color would best be suited with the rest of the eyeshadow I have. And then the golden color above that I'm using for the rest of my face. So I'm applying it underneath my brows, on the bridge of my nose, and on my cupid's bow. I'm using this reddish and purplish toned blushes. I'm mixing them and applying the smallest bit onto my cheeks, and then I'm dusting off my brush and just making sure to buff out the color so that it doesn't look too intense in one spot. I'm using this light brown color and I'm going to use it to contour my face a bit. I'm just shading in around my cheeks for the most part to slim down my face a little bit, and around my forehead to narrow it down, and then I'm just buffing out the color to make it look natural. Of course, I'm also dragging this color down my neck a bit to make sure everything matches and transitions smoothly. For my nose contour, I simply draw 2 lines down the side of my nose. There's nothing too technical about it. I just buff out these 2 lines and then I pick up a nude shade and I press it up to those lines on the side of my nose. It really helps to cover the natural shadows of my nose and to make my nose contour look a little bit more realistic. I'm going back to highlighter and applying it on my nose again, this time hitting the tip and making sure the highlighter on my cupid's bow stands out. Onto lips, I'm using this lip liner by MAC in the color Hover, and I recently sharpened it so it was great to work with, and I made sure to define my cupid's bow and then colored in my lips a little bit with this color. And then over that for the middle section, I'm using this NYX liquid lipstick in the color Lace Details. And then this is the final result. It is way too cold for my liking today. That's why I have my biggest, puffiest jacket on today so that I can wrap myself up in it. And I just let my hair down. I slept with it in a braid. That's why it's a little wavy. So that is what I'm going with today. So now I'm just going to wrap myself more up in my jacket before I actually leave the house. And then I'm going to face the world to do some shopping. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Bye bye!